D, if that light's red on my cap, is it working?
Yeah, that means it's recording.
Oh, it does. Oh, I thought green was recording.
The green's on the other side.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 2 lights on it. It's because before we were doing it directly, like through the Bluetooth connection. But now as a backup, I've been recording directly into the microphone too, to try to help avoid those issues where it's like not connecting properly to the camera.
Yeah.
So that way it's like a backup, essentially, doing it directly to the microphone.
How was the Santa Cruz gym? Pretty cool what they're doing over there?
Yeah, it's cool. Then the next place they're going to make is going to be super cool too,
Yeah.
the actual club. The gym itself that they have now is cool. Like, it looked like a cool community and like a cool place to go work out.
Yeah, they've really made that place cool. They've had it now for I don't know how many years, but Chris and I competed together. Yeah, I remember when him and I first met, we got connected. We have a mutual friend, and a lot of the people that were in the bodybuilder, men's physique, bikini type of space, a lot of them are young athletes or young people that are trying to get into it, and they want to hopefully win a trophy and build a business around it. But not a lot of them have like a lot of real direction around it. A lot of them just think that you're gonna get famous because you take first place and become a pro or whatever. And Chris was somebody who was he's like a couple years older than me, and successful in business already, and just you could tell that he understood it on a whole nother level. His business acumen was great, and I knew it right away from the first conversation we had. I'm like, oh, he's not like a lot of the people that I was meeting, and so we instantly kind of hit it off and have stayed connected. And he did a really good job of when he did compete and go pro. He did use that platform for him and his wife to build a really big community and became coaches. And I watched him like literally overnight go from not really having a coaching business to having one of the largest coaching businesses around. And he knew what he was doing from the jump.
Yeah, that's what really stood out about when he was talking about their story yesterday, is just like he just saw opportunities basically and was willing to like take advantage of it and kind of figure it out as they go. But it also seemed like he had a lot of that natural business acumen. Totally. To where he kind of knew to take those opportunities and knew what to do with them. So. And
that's not easy. I mean, the gym space is very competitive, and there's not a lot of money, and it's like there's a lot of misconceptions around owning a gym. People think it seems like it could be really profitable, but it's not. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of hours, and very few people make really, really good money doing it. Doesn't mean there's not exceptions to the rule, and some people that do, but there is a total misconception about how much, but they did really well. And the fact that he's been able to, turn that little place into a really hopping spot and then parlay that into building basically a athletic club, Yeah. I mean, now they're doing something really cool.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too, in terms of like his business acumen. Like, he's smart enough to know too, like he's saying how like other people are telling him, oh, like, why wouldn't you just keep both locations and like just have them both and whatnot? And he's basically saying how like he doesn't want to be able to competing against himself. Right. And like their whole idea behind going to this gym is to kind of get rid of the connotation that goes with their current business of like being the powerlifter gym and being like you have to look a certain type of way to work out there. Like,
totally.
Their goal is to like be able to get to the masses and just be appealing to anybody in Santa Cruz, basically.
Yeah, that community is too small to try and put 2 gyms like that and compete against each other. Because if he does a good job, he'll capture all his people that are currently going to that gym to go to that one. But then, like you said, it will appeal to, the guy or girl who is intimidated by the kind of bodybuilder, powerlifter look. Yeah. It's very much so more Equinox, spa vibe, But then he'll be smart enough, too, to make sure he incorporates the power, all the powerlifting tools and things that you want, platforms and rubber plates. And what's the projected date? What do you say?
He said hopefully in February.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is today LMNT or Keon?
LMNT.
Oh, good. Good. Cracking a can today.
That picture I saw this morning, then, was that today then, or no? Of like all the GT3s and.
Oh, that was Mike, my buddy Mike, who we did the rally with. Yeah, when we did that rally, Katrina and I with him, and we had the Porsches out. He's the one that has the one that looks like mine. It's Viper green though, so mine's Lizard. His is Viper green. We all went together with the guys who put on the Gold Rush rally. Did I tell you about that, the Gold Rush? So it's like the biggest, okay, so the Cannonball Run is like the most famous like car run, right? That goes all the way across the country. It's a race that's been around for a long time. Gold Rush is inspired by that. Ramin, the guy who puts it on, who created it, I don't remember how many years ago that he started it. He does it, and it's a 10-day or a 14-day, 10-day I think is right. I think a 10-day trip, and it's not quite all the way across the country, but they do like, I mean, I think this year they're going like Chicago, LA, Las Vegas. So they hit a lot of big cities, and it's 10 days. You're basically driving for 4 to 6 hours every day, and we were with him. So that was my first time meeting him. We went on a little short rally over to Sonoma when we did that Sonoma trip. But that was Mike who posted that, and he just tagged me, and I reposted it.
We'd rather see if any of the simulation games have Sonoma on them.
I know. I can't wait. So did you hear me too? That I was told that they have tons of roads too.
Oh really?
Yes. Basically anything that anybody can GPS or map out and put out. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is to find, and I don't know if it's in iRacing or it's in another one, but find the roads that we drive, then modify the car to match all of my modifications. So it's like literally like driving my car on the roads, and then see how closely it feels. You know?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Did you guys get in it, race at all?
Yeah, I was gonna say I beat Cole's time.
You took Cole's time?
Fractional second.
Hey, what is it? Winning's winning, or if it's not another, it's an inch or a mile, right? It doesn't
matter if it's an inch or a mile.
That's right. All right, I'm gonna have to get in it before I leave. Go get my title back. See how quickly I can redeem it. I actually rewatched watched that movie Gran Turismo again after getting. I was inspired to watch that again. I was wondering if I meant to look it up to see if they still do that. I mean, I know that Nissan did that whole thing. That's how they got that kid. Yeah. But is that like a thing they do every year, or was that just that one time? Like, I don't know if that's something they continually do or not.
The part of the movie where he flies off the track, that's Nürburgring, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that really happened, but it wasn't to that extent. Like, they exaggerate. Like, a lot of the stuff was really true, like the accident and all the things like that. I think they embellished on how bad it was. Like, I don't think somebody died like from it. I think that was the dramatization of that. But I do believe he crashed, and he didn't crash like that. I don't think the wind got underneath him and he flipped like that. I think that was like embellished too. I think it was. So we're gonna do something a little bit different today, because I'm still concerned about the hip, and I've kind of taken a little break for a few days off the legs. We're gonna do legs, but I am gonna do. We were in a 5x5 type of training protocol. I'm actually gonna do higher rep though, so I'm gonna get my volume through more reps than doing heavy loading, just until I feel a lot better in there. And I think that's been the consensus between the guys and everybody I've talked to. It's like, yeah, dude, you put on so much muscle so fast that you didn't give those ligaments and tendons a chance to catch up, and that's what you're feeling. And so crazy to think that I gotta slow down the progress. No. Hopefully I can keep the progress going, but we won't challenge it with load like that. So what I'll do today is, and I also missed a day of training, so this will probably be a little bit of a longer training session, just because I'm trying to make up for a day behind too. My biggest concern right now, between this and the next body fat test, is progress. Obviously, we're not going to progress as much as we did the first time, but the 3 trips being off like that, and then also now potentially reducing some volume on legs, which is my biggest muscle group. So what I just don't want to happen is to atrophy. If we can just kind of maintain and hang on muscle in the legs while I'm reducing or pulling back on some of this volume potentially, that would be a huge success. The positive note is my diet's been dialed, and I feel leaner. I feel good. Especially having this week back to eating at home makes such a huge difference for me. And what I've been doing also is, since the tracking of the Oura Ring, I was averaging like around 8,000 steps a day with some peaks and valleys. Right now I'm shooting for 10,000 plus, and I've had to go for a couple walks. I took a half-hour, 40-minute walk the other day to make sure I hit that. So while also being in a 500-calorie deficit, I'm also trying to increase steps by, say, 2,000 or so, give or take. Just the thought process on that is creating a larger calorie deficit so we can continue to reduce body fat, not doing anything intense, so I'm just walking. And what that does is it doesn't send a signal to the body that I'm training for endurance. It's not elevating my heart rate into the cardio threshold. You put, like, if you were to push, like, let's say my goal was 10,000 steps, and I decided, I'm going to do that through pushing on some piece of cardio, well, that sends a signal to my body that I need to get good at endurance, which if there's anything that could potentially sacrifice muscle right now while also being in a caloric deficit, that would do it. So the theory or the idea is create more movement, be in a caloric deficit, create this large, say, 1,000 calorie or so deficit, but through just low level activity. So like low intensity, steady state. Let's get this music going. It rained the other day a little bit, huh? Did it rain over here for you guys?
But just barely.
Just a little bit, huh? Yeah. My buddy sent me over too. I think Truckee Tahoe is supposed to get some snow.
Are you going up there at all this winter? You guys go for Thanksgiving, don't you?
So I think Justin's got the house this year for Thanksgiving. We had it last year, and I think Justin's going up there with his family. I should double check though with him, because last time they were going to and then they canceled. And so if he doesn't, almost any time that someone doesn't, I almost always do. So we've had Thanksgiving there 3 years. So, we all rotate whoever wants it for the holiday. But Doug and Sal haven't used it for the holiday. It's just been me or Justin.
Is this the time of year snow typically starts?
Oh yeah, it'll start. Like I've actually snowboarded on Halloween before.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since we've had that good of a winter where it was like because obviously right now it's not like that. But I have before. They used to have like a half. If you wore a costume, your lift ticket was half the price. Yeah, so everybody would be riding in their
Is that
costume.
where the whole like old bunny costume used to come from? I remember like snowboard games back in the day.
Oh, you're probably right. I bet you that is where it's originated from. It's a good question. So what I think I want to do, let's see what Bulgarians feel like on the, I could do it there too though. I don't know which was easier for you. I haven't used this yet. Somebody else using this already? It's a little bit higher than I want. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Who's the cord from?
We were filming IG stuff with Justin.
Oh yeah, where were you guys shooting with Justin?
Just Instagram stuff for the trainer Instagram.
Oh, for the trainer IG? Yeah. Oh, okay. Were you guys doing some like exercise demo stuff too, or is it all pure conversation like we've been doing?
Yeah, just the same stuff we've been doing.
I didn't even think about that. Should tell Justin that, Justin's really good with that stuff. Maybe we start mixing up some of I know the trainer page is focused on business, but I'm sure trainers would get some great value on like corrective exercise and and cues and some of that for clients. So maybe we should have him do some of those too. Should tell him that. Did you guys go trick-or-treating?
Me, no. What about you? How was your Halloween?
It was good. We took Max out and about. He loves Halloween, man. It's probably his favorite holiday. And Katrina's whole family, all the adults, we all get into it, and it's literally all for him, Yeah. So everybody, he gets pretty excited, and we let him stay up late. The best part, though, I tell you, I love that my son took one piece of candy last night, not me telling him he could or couldn't, whatever, I didn't say shit, and he chose the Welch's Fruit Snacks was the one piece of candy that he ate. And then he didn't even notice, but Katrina, because after we went trick-or-treating, we came home and then we passed out candy to kids, basically dumped his candy into the bowl of candy that we gave out to kids, and he was giving away his candy right back to everybody. Yeah, he don't even trip, dude.
Picture you posted of him the other day with his treat at Disney World saying he didn't want any more because he didn't want a stomach ache. Like, just his ability to recognize that's crazy.
So it's, and you know, and that's really, we communicated that early to him when we first introduced it, like to try and get him to be aware of that feeling, you know, and notice that. And then that way he can make the connection. So this will be interesting to see how this feels. This is higher than I want. So this is kind of a cool thing to talk about for people, because people have a hard time with setting up for Bulgarians. And I think a lot of people teach it. I don't want to say wrong, but the challenge that people have a lot of times is their trail leg is where they end up feeling more of the work, right? The idea of Bulgarians is that the lead leg is where the work is. So I like my foot hooked somewhere where I set up from the ground up. So with this down this low, I can get down in this position, and then I can either go drive my leg forward, or I can scoot it back, find right where I want to position it. And if you're out too far in front and your trail leg is up too high, you'll feel it pull on the hip flexor. And so a lot of times people will feel it in their hips on the back trail leg more than they actually feel it on their lead leg. And that's what we want, want everything in that lead leg. And this is like relaxed. So it's really my left hip that this one feels fine. It's the other one. So the feeling that I have going on in my hips reminds me of when, way before I was getting good squat depth, and I used to squat heavy, and I would get bursitis in my hips. And all that is you get these fluid pockets, or pockets of fluid that sit right on the IT TFL place when they cross over, and it just feels like someone's sticking a knife in there. And that was a lot of weak and instability that caused that before. I think in this case is what we talked about, just building too much muscle too fast, not allowing all the ligaments and all that tissue to catch up. So we're going to stay pretty light, stay high in reps, try and get my volume that way. It's just a nice pump on the legs. That black cherry is really good too. Reps again. You know, I think I communicated this on one of the last videos we did. Because I'm in this caloric deficit, it's super discouraging or frustrating, because all my muscle bellies are depleted. And so even though I'm doing the right thing, and I know that we need to be in a calorie deficit to drop some body fat, it's hard to not get discouraged when I look in the mirror because I look worse, which I think this happens a lot of times to clients where they're doing a really good job, but what they see in the mirror doesn't make them happy. You know, they see, because you do, when you fill up your muscle bellies with glycogen and water, and that makes the skin tighter, that makes the muscles look rounder, fuller, more shapely. And so that's a good thing. Even though the scale might go up a little bit, the look in the mirror is better, right? And so when you're in this caloric deficit, you're never really filling the muscle bellies all the way up. They're always kind of running on half a tank or getting sucked all the way out, because what happens is, what tells our body to switch over and start metabolizing fat as a source of fuel is when those glycogen stores get all the way empty. So if you can imagine, your muscles serve as a giant gas tank that when you need energy to exercise, move around, do your thing, they can pull from. So they pull from that glycogen to propel the body through movement and exercise. When that gas runs out and it's all sucked out, the body goes, oh, we need fuel. So then it converts fat, metabolizes fat over as a source of fuel. And that's how we get leaner. So all a good thing, but psychologically can be difficult because you see these muscle bellies deflated all the time and you don't get to see them filled all the way up. So one of the hardest parts I remember being in a cut for competing is, you know, knowing you're in good shape, knowing you feel you're doing the right thing, but then looking at yourself in this in-between phase of kind of keeping those gas tanks kind of low. And that's, you want to be there. You want to just, when you're in a cut, you don't ever really want to really load up those gas tanks. You want to kind of keep them running at half a tank or quarter a tank so that as soon as you exercise, like right now, the tank gets empty, and then now I tap over into fat. If I'm always filling up those stores, then even if I exercise and do stuff, push really hard, my body will use the stored glycogen. So you kind of want to run on low or on quarter of a tank and then use it, and then now my body then will tap over and start to use body fat. If you're always filling the body up so much that everything's always full, it'll tap into that glycogen. It doesn't need to use fat as a source of fuel. Feels good. So why the one kettlebell and not two? I mean, you could do it. You could do two. But I actually want to be off balance a little bit. And all that is really doing is because I'm doing unilateral work, where, in other words, working on one leg, one side at a time, and because I'm off balance a little bit with weight, it's not evenly distributed, the muscles all around the quad, the knee, and the hip area are all having to fire and stabilize as I go in and out of that. And since we're not loading heavy bilateral work and pushing strength today, and I just want to challenge my legs, I'm going to challenge all those stabilizer muscles, take advantage of the higher reps, getting a pump, working on that stability from that. Throwing it in one hand challenges that a little bit more. But it's not a right or wrong thing. You could hold the kettlebell on the other side. You could rack with two kettlebells. This is just something I'm doing to challenge it, challenge the stability of it, since I'm not going to be trying to push Really, if I was trying to push really heavy weight, I would grab 2 dumbbells and really try and go strength to help me balance. Feels good though, we're already getting a little bit of a pump, that's good. We did 1 body weight and then I loaded, right? Or did I do 2 body weight? We did 1 body weight. 1 body weight and then 2 of those, so this is 4. Placement of my foot can shift what my focus is. If a foot is out in front of me, all the way out here, I'm gonna get more glute activation to pull me out. If my foot is brought in more and my knee is traveling over my toe, I'm gonna get a little more quad activation. And we're kind of like in the middle. Got my legs burning. That's good. I think I'm gonna do some trap bar stuff too right now. People that might be wondering why I'm taking the pills right now. No other reason other than I just didn't do it when we first started. No added benefit of doing it in the middle. What? A high rep Bulgarians got me already. Been a long time since I've done trap bar. Today's one of those not so fun workouts. Easily wanted to take the day off. I know that hips are bothering me, so I know I can't really train my legs the way I really want to. I'm low calorie, so my fuel tank's low, and then I'm doing higher reps. Just a formula for today sucks. Tough part is too, I gave myself a lot of latitude this week as far as consistent days. This is only our, let's say Friday. This is our second workout of the week, that's it. And then the one before that was a hotel workout in Florida. So really need to string a couple of these workouts together, which is also why this feels so shitty, is just that week of kind of falling off or taking days off flying. But the most important part was getting in here, doing something, trying to do a little bit more than what we did last time so I can start to build that gas tank back up and catch that momentum again. It's probably going to be not till end of next week when I think I'll probably be feeling really good again. Too much traveling. Way too much traveling. You know, it's not so bad when you're 6 months, a year into being consistent and you've built a good physique. You have a lot of metabolic flexibility. Flying like that, taking off for 4 days is not a big deal. But we're right in the height of building back and just getting momentum now. We're going to use the incline adjustable bench and do some dumbbell shoulder presses. I'll probably do a set or two of W's real quick to prime my upper back real quick. You know, this morning too, I had a bunch of caffeine on an empty stomach. Been a little woozy all day because of that. I try not to, you know, I guess it's a good thing to talk about. Just like I would coach a client. Like, I don't like to overwhelm myself with too many goals or too many things I want to accomplish all at once, because then you get really discouraged when you're failing at one or two of those things. But maybe you're doing good on one thing or two things, but then you're focused on the things that you failed at. So I know this about myself. I know this about clients I train. So ultimately, like, there's things in my life that I don't consider healthy that I'd like to see less of, right? Here's some examples. Marijuana usage, kratom usage, Diet Coke drinking, caffeine. So these are 4 things that are not healthy for me that I allow to creep in and out of my life. And when I start back on a journey like this this journey isn't also just about building muscle and getting aesthetic, looking better. It's also about being healthier and always working towards that. And so what I'll do is, you know, it's like right now, hitting calorie goals, hitting my workouts. Now I've added getting steps in. So I like to stack the wins, and I don't like to overwhelm myself of, I'm going to try and cut it all out or try to do it all once. So ultimately, you'll see me tighten up all those things, but I don't like to do it all at once. I probably shouldn't have taken those fucking BCA or EAAs. Ooh, that was a lot. I should have taken those pills. So I was already feeling queasy because of the empty stomach caffeine earlier. That was the reason why I didn't take the EAs to start with. I started feeling better and then took them when my stomach was weak. And then high reps, combination, all that. Feel better already though. That was nasty though. That was a lot coming out my nose and everything. My fucking nose is burning. Well, doesn't get more real than that, dude.
I think it's good for the listener and the new lifter too, though, to kind of see that, because it's easy to a lot of the time, like when you get those feelings, to equate it to the workout rather than like what you ingested before.
Totally. Yeah, that wasn't because of the workout at all. I mean, the high reps and all that stuff didn't help, but it's not because of that. Stomach was already off. And when we first started, I didn't take any of the Keon EAAs because I was like, I know better than to take pills when I'm already kind of feeling queasy. So I didn't take it in the first place. But as we got going, I thought I was okay. And then, no bueno. I mean, I feel a million times better already. I'm definitely a better trainer coach when I'm not throwing up. Every bit of energy I got left is going into finishing this workout. I did want to do a little more, but if I can get through 3 more sets of this, I'll be happy. We got at least 4 good exercises, 16 total sets. We're good. I definitely need to train tomorrow though too. So we've worked the chest out a couple times. It's feeling pretty good injury-wise, but it feels weird. Part of me is so scared to go get an x-ray and be told what I did, because it definitely feels like something's missing. There's like this divot in my chest, like this crater that's not the same on both sides. Woke up this morning at 211. So I think the highest we've seen is 218. Maybe, I can't remember if that was in the middle of the day or in the morning though. I think the highest I've seen in the morning is 216. So I'm down to 211. I wanted to be like under 210 before I go back into the mini bulk. I think we would have been if it wasn't for last week. So this Sunday I decide, I had planned to go back to a mini bulk. How I feel after today and another workout in, and on Sunday comes rolling around, I'll determine if I'm gonna stay in a cut for 1 more week or go into a bulk. Probably one of the harder things to describe to the camera and say why, other than just lots of experience of looking at my body and knowing what I need to do. Justin, did you not try the simulator yet?
No, I'm too busy and obsessed with what I'm doing, bro.
All right.
I do want to get it in, but
Hey, I don't want
to
to stop you from working and making us money, bro. Keep doing your thing.
I'm
That's number 1 priority, so it's all good.
Okay. There.
See you, dude. I call that a wrap. Let's see, whoever gets to edit gets to hear that fucking puking back there. I put it in my pocket, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna hear it all still.